Welcome back to another episode of Open at Microsoft. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Radius, a new cloud-native application platform, and specifically diving into recipes, a new feature that makes it great for developers and operators to work together. Hi there, my name is Aaron Crofus, and today I'm joined by Ryan Nowak.
Hey, Aaron.
All right, today I hear there's a new topic that we want to dive into called recipes. Could you tell us a little bit about what recipes are?
Yeah, recipes are a way for you to provision infrastructure. Any infrastructure that an application needs. Could be a database, could be a message queue, could be some kind of storage system, and decouple the application definition from how that infrastructure is going to get created. One of the benefits of this is that you can ensure that all the recipes you're using as a team or as a company kind of have the right profile for cost and operations and security, depending on where you're running and what your requirements are.
Gotcha. And so as a developer then, those are things I no longer have to worry about?
You no longer have to worry about it. The recipe was written by somebody who knows their stuff, and you get to focus on the things that you're good at.
Perfect.
So the demo that I want to give you today is to talk a little bit more about how recipes get created. And kind of the operations side of working on recipes or creating recipes. And if we could kind of imagine, like, there's an application that a developer on my team has written, and we're going to put this in production in an AKS environment in Azure using Radius, and I need to figure out how to create a recipe for Redis cache, because this is a to-do application. We're using Redis as a database. And I know how to set up Redis. I already understand that. And today is kind of about how we interact with Radius to build those recipes.
Awesome. Yeah, let's take a look at the demo.
Yeah, so let's go to code, and I'm just going to really quickly show you the application. I think it's a simple enough thing that we can kind of digest. We're describing the application here with Bicep, and you can see that this application's got a container, which is right here. That's called demo. And then down here, you can see that we've got a Redis cache. So applications, data stores, Redis cache. And you'll notice that the developer doesn't really have to say anything about Redis to get a Redis cache. When they run this in their local dev environment, it's going to use a Radius local dev recipe, which means it's just going to run Redis in a container. And when we run this in the cloud, we're going to use Azure's hosted Redis service called Microsoft Cache for Redis. And that's the task that we're going to be doing, is we're going to be writing a recipe for that.
That's awesome. So in this application then, the developer just states all the things that they care about and the things they need. Is that correct? That's
right. The idea is that wherever you're deploying this application, you just say, I need a Redis cache, or I need a SQL database, and the environment is configured with the right recipe to give you something that meets your organization's standards and policies.
Oh, interesting. And now why is that important in terms of like working in an organization like that?
I think it's useful because we all have different skills. We kind of mostly work in teams, right? And the people who are operations experts in your team or in your company may not be you. They may not even be on your team. Right? And if your job is writing code and application logic and solving business problems, you're probably not an expert in cloud infrastructure. And so recipes help you work with those folks. Even if you are an expert in cloud infrastructure, we still think you're going to like it, because it's kind of nice to think about controlling the way we do infrastructure separately from the way we do apps, and that's what Radius provides.
That's super cool. Yeah, I'd love to take a look at what it takes to build one of these recipes.
So let's dig into that. I've got kind of a skeleton of a file here. I've just gotten started, and this is a Bicep file in the same repo. We're actually going to publish this somewhere else. So just because all the code is in the same repo right now doesn't mean that it's supposed to be that way or has to be that way. We're actually going to publish this somewhere else.
Cool.
So to get started, there's kind of three things that go on with a recipe. Is one, you're going to get some input from Radius. Mm-hmm. Two, you're going to create the things that you need. In this case, it's going to be Microsoft Cache for Redis. And then three, you're going to return some data to Radius so that we know how to interact with that thing.
Perfect.
So some of the data that we're going to get from Radius, we're going to get things like an Azure resource group to use. We're also going to get this context parameter, which provides a lot of data about the environment that you're running in. And then something about our AKS environment that we're deploying to is we're using VNets. We're using Azure networking features. We don't want this Redis cache to be accessible from the internet. It's only accessible from within the private network. And this is pretty often where like a lot of developers' knowledge stops about how to use the cloud, right? If we use the portal or use the Azure CLI to configure things, we may not really appreciate all the details here. So it's helpful that we're using an example to do something a little bit hard. So first, I'm going to accept a subnet ID as a parameter. So I'm going to have Radius give me the networking information for where this Redis cache should be set up so that it doesn't end up hard-coded in this file. Secondly, I'm going to create the actual Redis cache. And so you can see that right here. We're creating a Microsoft cache for Redis. And you can see that we might be getting a subnet ID or we might not. In the case that we are, we're going to pass that through to the underlying data store so that it's not accessible to the internet.
Yep, and it looks like you're setting some security configuration there, making sure that this is secure by default.
Well, mostly.
Yeah.
The other thing that we're going to do is we're going to return some data back to Radius. Oops, I pasted that on the wrong line. So we're going to output some data back. I think I'm missing a brace here. We'll just fix that. Okay. So this output block is going to contain the data that the application needs to talk to the Redis cache. So things like username, password, host port, all the information that the application is going to need.
Gotcha. So whatever I put in the middle there, I can deploy anything I want, but then I just have to pass back the important parts for about Redis.
That's right. And so like in this example, we're just using VNets. We kind of picked like one more advanced feature to show, but you can imagine we're going to hook up Azure Monitor or some kind of notification system or backups or any kind of complicated infrastructure things that are not developer facing. This is where they should go.
Awesome. Yeah, so it sounds like all of that complexity about everything you just mentioned goes in the recipe. Developer never has to see it, worry about it, or to do anything other than just say, I need Redis.
That's right. So now that we've authored this file, the next thing we need to do is we need to publish this somewhere because we don't want developers to copy these to their repos and keep them checked in. Centrally managing these things and managing the recipes on a different life cycle than applications helps us get versioning right, helps us know when upgrades need to be applied, helps us know when things are out of compliance. Again, we don't want to make that the developer's job. So we're going to publish this. I'm not actually going to do it because I've already done it, but the way that I do that is I could use the Radius CLI. I could publish this to any OCI registry. I'm using ACR here, but it could be GitHub, could be ECR on AWS. Radius doesn't really care.
Gotcha. So like with that OCI registry, that's Open Container Initiative.
Yeah.
I can reuse my existing registry that all my containers are in, so there's no extra infrastructure. Is that correct?
That's totally right. And then the next thing that I would do, so after I publish that, is I need to wire that up to the environment. And so if we look at this environment here, you can see that I'm actually managing my environments with Radius itself. So I've got a bicep file here. I'm declaring the environment. And then the thing that I've added is this. I'm configuring a recipe for a Redis cache. I'm pointing it to the one that we just published. I'm saying that it's a bicep file. And then here's where I want to set any parameters that are going in. So like in this example, what subnet do I want Redis to end up on in this environment?
Gotcha.
I'm going to pass that in as a parameter. That's going to go into this parameter of the recipe when it executes. And then that's going to go into our Redis cache and make sure that that gets wired up all the right way. Now, the way that I would do this is I'm actually managing Azure, in this case, through GitHub Actions. So I've already committed and pushed this file and had a GitHub action that updates it in the background. So I've actually already got our Azure environment updated with these results. Let's try it out and see if it actually works.
Yeah, let's take a look.
So I'm going to do a rad deploy app.bicep, and I'm going to do that with our Azure environment.
And what's happening here once you run that command?
Now what's happening here is Radius is going to take that bicep file, it's going to hand it over to Radius itself. You can see that we've got deployment in progress for the Redis cache. That means that Radius is executing that recipe. So it's going to go grab that from the OCI registry, it's going to execute that. Executing that recipe is going to create the stuff in Azure that we need, and then it's going to take that output data, hand that back to Radius, and hand it off to the application.
Perfect. So yeah, from the developer point of view, they see that it's deploying, but really behind the scenes, all that infrastructure provisioning is happening right now.
That's right.
That's very cool.
So we'll give this a minute, see if it completes. It might take a couple of minutes, so we may not be able to wait the whole time for it.
Yep. Cool. So I can see that it's deploying here. So in Azure, then it should starting to show up in the resource group.
Yeah, let's take a look at that. So I've got the resource group here where I've deployed AKS and set up the VNet and everything like that. And you can see that we've got a Redis cache here creating, so it looks like the recipe is doing its stuff.
Fantastic. So yeah, that's really cool to see how the developer never had to think about infrastructure. Everything's happening in Azure securely behind the scenes. Seems like recipes are a great feature for teams to take advantage of.
That's right. So we'd love for you to check this out. Try writing some recipes for things that you're already doing, and let us know how it goes.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Well, thanks for joining us today to learn a little bit more about Radius and about recipes. If you want to learn more, check us out at radapp.io.